rocky height overlooking the Hudson stands West Point, guardian fortress since 1778, United States Military Academy since 1802. For nearly a century and a half, ranks of gray cadets have lined up on this shaded plain, fulfilling a plan made by far-sighted George Washington at the very beginning of our history. Within the vast 14,000-acre area of the Point, the War Department has provided the finest tools of learning. For America's stake in these men is large. Upon their prowess in the classroom, on training maneuvers, or on the football field, depends their prowess in battle. Upon their prowess in battle may depend the fate of the nation. This historic house has been the home of 35 superintendents. From this office, today's superintendent, Major General Maxwell Taylor, rules the academy. For the busy West Pointer, here lining up with his classmates for mess, there is little time out. His school is not only a military academy, but an accredited first-grade technical college as well. In addition to the complex arts of war, he must learn languages, chemistry, economics, physics, calculus, along with all the other subjects necessary for any Bachelor of Science. And he must learn proficiency in athletics and good sportsmanship. Of the 21 sports on the intramural list, each cadet must take active part in at least 7. Within the stone area, worn by millions of marching feet, cadets form ranks per class. Every company in the Corps must provide teams for a long list of prescribed sports. For every West Pointer, football is as much a requirement as history or mathematics. The Military Academy has not forgotten the words of General Douglas MacArthur, spoken when he was superintendent of the Point. Upon the fields of friendly strife are sown the seeds that upon other fields, on other days, will bear the fruits of victory. Dress parade, one of the most colorful and famous of West Point's traditions. In these ranks have marched America's architects of victory in 5 major wars. Once Lee, Grant, Pershing paraded here. In 1904, Joe Stilwell was one of the Corps. In 1909, George Patton. In 1919, Mark Clark. In 1915, Dwight Eisenhower. It was the faultless precision of the dress parade that the Army football teams of 1944 and 1945 brought to the nation's gridiron. In 1944, Army met Butte, carrying for a West Point team which had 4 successive victories to its credit already. Glenn Davis was off on a 53-yard journey to a touchdown. For the cadet team, already the highest-scoring 11 in modern West Point history, this was only the beginning. Final score, Duke 7, Army 27. Army and Michigan met for their first football battle a year later at the Yankee Stadium. By this time, in 1945, the West Pointers' anti-string had reached 11 games. Davis's 70-yard run was a highlight of a contest which ended Michigan 7, Army 28. It was Army 10 at Philadelphia's Franklin Field as a mighty Duff Blanchard kickoff sent the ball to the Quakers' 2-yard line. After a pen punch, the cadets took over, and Davis flashed down the sidelines to a touchdown. The pigskin went to Blanchard. These are the touchdown plays we will study and analyze in later reels. Penn's aerial attack was abruptly brought to a halt by a cadet interception. 10-0, Army 61. Army and Notre Dame, football rivals for 32 years, were both unbeaten when they clashed before 75,000 fans. The Corps of Cadets, 2,400 strong, took the field. With the game just 2 minutes old, Davis scored standing up. In the second quarter, Tucker passed to Glenn Davis. 5 enemy tacklers were between Davis and the goal, but that made little difference to the 175-pound back. Army, which beat Notre Dame 59-0 the year before, now made it 48-0, a total of over 100 points for 2 clashes with the Irish. Army versus Navy, the most eagerly awaited sports event of 1945. The cadets, undefeated in 17 straight games, were to again meet their traditional rivals. The nation's top fan, President Harry Truman, was among the crowd of over 100,000, as was the Army's boss, General George C. Marshall. The West Point team took the field for its 46th annual clash with Annapolis. The president, along with every other fan, settled down for the history-making battle. Navy kicked off, but the ball traveled only to the Army 25. Soon, Doc Blanchard, shown here in slow motion, was ramming through the Annapolis line to score first blood for the cadets. Coach Red Blake saw his Army team fight for its 24th victory over the Navy. Still in the first quarter, it was Glenn Davis moving like quicksilver, touchdown bound. This was Blanchard, later to be rated the most valuable player of the year, heading for still another Army touchdown. Davis, the other half of the touchdown twins, cut loose, as West Point, with 17 straight victories to its credit, headed for number 18. Then Blanchard, in one of the most impressive displays of football power ever filmed by the slow-motion camera. This 32-13 triumph over Navy gave Army 2 undefeated seasons, 18 victories in a row. It is from the men of the Army team that we are to take our football lessons. And here they are. Army's home field, Michie Stadium, located on the grounds of the Point, will be our classroom. In order to make the plays we will study easier to follow, each player wears a special jersey bearing letters corresponding to his position. The first team wears dark jerseys, the second team white jerseys. Three All-Americans are included in this group. The left guard is Jack Green, captain of the 1945 Army team. The fullback is Felix Doc Blanchard. The halfback is Glenn Davis, who in 45 averaged 11 and 6 yards every time he carried the ball. This cadet team has its first co-captains, Blanchard and Davis. Meet Army's first team. In the LE jersey is left end Pitzer. The left tackle is Tavzel. Left guard, Green. Center, Bullitt. Right guard, Joy. Right tackle, Webb. Right end, Hayes. The backs are number 1, quarterback Tucker. Number 2, right halfback Sauer. Number 3, fullback Blanchard. Number 4, left halfback Davis. Almost as important to a team as the plays it practices are the exercises which keep it in trim. This warm-up exercise, known as Eagles, is designed to loosen up the legs and crotch. Next, push-ups, always used in a series of 10. This exercise, a good conditioner, hardens arm, shoulder, and stomach muscles. Note that the body is held rigid and does not touch the ground between push-ups. Now, in-place charging. One of the most important exercises for linemen, it helps make them shifty by getting them used to moving their feet. Notice that the players will travel laterally, maintaining a wide base. This lateral movement is vital in defensive line action, when the lineman must travel with the play. Only by strict adherence to safety rules, proper diet, and all other training practices can a team keep in top condition. In crabbing, the line moves forward 10 or 15 feet, then retraces its steps. The players learn that you needn't be on your feet to move, but can travel in almost any position. This final exercise is called shivering. Here, the linemen are paired off, one group on offense, the other on defense. On signal, the defensive player charges with locked arms, hitting the offensive man on the shoulder. Note the drive and the wide base of the defensive man who is doing the shivering. This workout develops a strong defensive charge, while at the same time loosens up the shoulders and arms of the linemen. By building stronger, faster players, and by contributing to greater safety, exercises pay heavy dividends during the season. In the first of our offensive fundamentals, we will study the deception in ball handling that has made Tucker one of the best T-formation quarterbacks in the country. Note how he fakes to number 4, Davis, before lateraling to number 2, Sauer. This time, Tucker gives the ball to number 2, Sauer, then carries the fake to the flank. Here, the deceptive Tucker hands the pigskin to number 4, Davis, who heads straight ahead. Now the ball goes from number 1, Tucker, to number 2, Sauer, off right tackle. Notice how, in all these plays, quarterback Tucker shields the ball handling with his body. By artful coordinated movements in football, as in parlor magic, the hand can be made quicker than the eye. Of vital importance to any team is the art of blocking, first taught against the dummy in spring practice. This is All-America Jack Green demonstrating a straight shoulder block. The stagger step is an integral part of his charge. Note Green's stance, head up, back straight, eyes on the dummy. In slow motion, we can see how the stagger step enables him to get a better position on the defensive lineman. Green gets the drive of a battering ram into his charge. Rawes shows a reverse body block used by an end on a defensive tackle. In a reverse pivot block, he utilizes a head fake to get under the tackle's arm. After your form has been perfected on the dummy, live blocking is in order. Here, the same blocking finesse is used in taking out an actual opponent. Now back to the dummy for downfield blocking practice. In this side body block, the blocker keeps on his feet until close to the target. Head up, he moves in for a live block. Correct blocking technique prevents injuries and wins games. A championship team must be able to advance through the air as well as on the ground. By freezing action, we can study a pass. Note how the ball is balanced, how the arm is cupped. The pass is made from right behind and almost above the ear. Watch this pass by Arnold Tucker, who here demonstrates the correct grip. The ball will be carried just behind the head for throwing. To bring it further back would waste valuable time. After the pass, Tucker follows through, like a golfer teeing off or a batter slashing out a long hit. Until the pigskin is brought back, Tucker keeps both hands on it to prevent fumbling. As the backward movement starts, his left arm goes out for balance and protection. Note how the ball is gripped, fingers well spread over the laces, thumb to the rear. The pigskin is perfectly balanced in Tucker's hand. Now, the follow-through. One half of passing is throwing. The other half is receiving. It is the receiver's job to get free of the defensive players and into a good position for a pass. Among the fanciest of football footwork is that all-important kick for point after touchdown. Protection for the kicker is achieved by keeping the line tight. Teamwork between the holder and the kicker cannot be overemphasized. Notice how Davis is completely absorbed in holding the ball, allowing Blanchard to concentrate on his kick. This time, notice the follow-through, which is as important in place kicking as it is in passing. Note that holder Davis still has his eye on the spot where the ball stood, and that kicker Blanchard still has his head down. The secret of this is concentrated practice. Boys not big enough physically for other team positions can specialize here. Linemen have the assignment of preventing the team from breaking through. Many games each season are won or lost by the narrow margin of a point after touchdown. Turning to offensive formations, we begin with one of the most familiar of them all, the single wing. This formation can be operated from either a balanced or an unbalanced line. Here, an unbalanced line to the right is used, with 4 men to the right of center. They face a 6-man defensive line. The ball is snapped to Davis, and the guard and fullback lead the way through right tackle. With 2-on-1 blocking along most of the line, this is a difficult play for the defense to break up. Davis scores on this off-tackle maneuver, one of the strongest in football. The same off-tackle play is repeated in slow motion. Watch now as the ball comes back to Davis, number 4. The linemen do an effective job of blocking. They attend strictly to the task of crumbling the defensive line, with the exception of the short side men away from the play, who head down the field to take out the secondary. Keep your eye on Green, the All-America left guard. After making a solid block on his man, he finds time to head downfield for further interference. As for ball carrier Davis, he shows perfect running form. Never looking back or slowing down, Davis heads straight down the field for touchdown territory. Once more, quickly study the diagram, then watch the play. Though it's more difficult to get downfield blockers ahead of this trap play, it has the definite advantage of surprise. Note in slow motion how the play differs entirely from the off tackle, though designed to appear the same. The defensive left tackle is invited into the backfield when the guard blocks him out as the ball carrier cuts sharply inside. The trick succeeds, and Davis makes a good gain. The single wing offers good, quick passing possibilities with excellent protection for the passer. With this running pass, which is always apt to develop into an end run, it's comparatively easy to get receivers downfield. Now, as Davis begins his pass, note that the most dangerous defensive players are well taken care of. The wingback is cut sharply to the outside, and the number 2 back is heading into the clear. Tucker gets the pass, and only a desperate tackle by the defense prevents a touchdown. The single wing is well suited for deception, and few plays offer a better chance at football trickery than this spin. The hole through the center of the line is made by the left offensive guard trapping the left defensive guard. Now, as we carry the play through in slow motion, note the excellent positions the blockers hold in relation to the close-up secondary. Remember that the success of this play depends upon the left guard's position and timing in making the trap. Blanchard drives hard with head up, preparing for open field running. Much of the faking is in the hands of the tailback, who continues to run wide as if he has the ball. From here on, Blanchard has one job, and now it's a matter of outsprinting the rival team as goalposts loom ahead. Once again, the diagram shows one of the strongest plays in football, the off tackle from the single wing. This formation is designed for power, with the interference concentrated in front of the runner. It's best suited for quick short gains, but as here, touchdowns can also result. Since it was first made famous by Pop Warner and his Carlisle Indians, the single wing has been a formation to be reckoned with. These advantages tell the reason why. 1, it provides a chance for successful deception by the backs. 2, it offers good, fast passing possibilities. 3, it allows potent off-tackle and inside-tackle smashers. 4, it furnishes heavy interference for the runner. 5, it makes possible long ground-gaining runs, like this one, for a touchdown. Keep in mind the potentialities of the single wing. The double wing, now diagrammed, is an adaptation of the single. Here, however, added power has been furnished to the shorter side of the line. In this formation, the tailback, number 4, moves up and becomes the short side wingback. Number 1 back remains in the same position. Number 2 and number 3 balance themselves in a more direct line behind the center. Note, as Tucker fakes a lateral, that the left guard, left end, and the number 4 back head downfield for blocking. Meanwhile, the right guard and the number 2 back form interference for Tucker, who is touchdown bound. As we repeat the left end run, notice the triple ball handling, which is typical of the double wing formation. Here it is number 2 to number 3 to number 1. In this double reverse, the defense is held for a split second by the faking in the backfield. and a split second is all that's needed. In that time, Tucker makes his way around the end. The double wing has two primary requirements: fast wingbacks and a good plunging fullback to prevent the defense from spreading. Because every man on this team has fulfilled his job, there's clear sailing ahead for the ball carrier, Tucker. The play coming up is a power buck by fullback Blanchard. His pass lies through the center of the line, with the number 2 back, Sauer, running interference. Effective blocking by the center, right guard, and inside tackle help blast the hole. Now, with the action slowed down, keep your eye on that 2-on-1 blocking. Blanchard has just started to blast his way through the line. This play, however, hits so fast that already a pair of the backers up are being blocked, while the 2 wingbacks are heading downfield to take care of the deeper secondary. This is the kind of blocking that forms the foundation of a championship team. Blanchard moves behind a screen of blockers, each one of whom knows his assignment and how to carry that assignment out. And here's the result. Every man of the enemy secondary has been skillfully neutralized, and the only possible tackler remaining is also being taken out of the play. In this case, the runner happens to be Blanchard, perhaps the most powerful ground gainer in intercollegiate football. Because it offers 4 good eligible receivers, the double wing is well suited for forward passing. Here, the diagram outlines a reverse pass. This play begins as a run to deceive the opposing team and to give the receivers time to travel downfield. An aerial attack cannot succeed unless the passer is protected. The protection of Davis is achieved by pulling the right guard out to the flank to block the end. The mechanics of the reverse pass revealed in slow motion. Whether used by your team or by your opponents, the virtues of the double wing are worth remembering. 1, good line interference. 2, strength to both sides of the line. 3, good deception. And 4, excellent passing. Scoring touchdowns is only half the story of football. The other half is preventing the enemy from scoring on you. This reel is concerned with defense, and the primary tool of defense is, of course, the tackle. Here, the play is brought to a sudden stop at the point of contact. Now, another head-on tackle. This is a side tackle, used in the open field where a head-on try is impossible. Note that the tackler throws his body across the path of the ball carrier, rolling with him as he falls. Watch in slow motion how the tackler moves in, head up, eyes on the ball carrier's hips for this side tackle. In bringing to earth a pass receiver, the tackler hits him high to knock the ball from his grasp. Another method is to grab the receiver's hands from the rear, pulling them apart. Now study the work of the end as he performs his job in defense. Note how, eluding the enemy, he floats toward the sideline. Here is a crashing end, his angle determined by the depth of the tailback as he plows in. Now, the work of the tackle. Study his solid, low-charging crouch. With both hands on the ground, he's in an excellent position to take out either the end or the wingback. Here he drives on the end, warding him off with his weight advantage and by the use of his hands. Never lessening the power of his pumping legs, the tackle moves constantly toward the heart of the play. On this try, the tackle shifts his attack, concentrating his charge on the wingback. This type of play is effective against a wide running team. Next, a trap play. The end and wingback going downfield invite the tackle into the offensive backfield to be trapped. After entering this territory, the tackle heads down the line of scrimmage toward the play's center. In slow motion, note the tackle's drive as with body low and feet well balanced, he travels into the backfield, then wheels to the middle of the play. The work of the tackle is a vital factor in the battle to hold the enemy down. In this section, study the work of the guard. On defense, the guard's latitude is restricted. His actions are concentrated in a limited area in the middle of the line. Here, his main responsibility is to make certain no plays come into his territory. Notice how this experienced guard, upon being invited into a backfield trap, declines the invitation by dropping to all fours. This is a knife charge in which the defensive guard works to split the two offensive blockers. Jack Green uses his arms on the left tackle, then quickly recovers into the backfield. Here is a submarine charge, an effective variation that can be used by an active guard, but only against an offensive line that's playing high. Though confined to a limited area, the guard plays a leading role in defense. Every team faces the problem of selecting effective defense formations. This is a 6-2-2-1, probably the most widely used in American football. It's uniformly strong against a running or passing attack. Now a 6-3-2 formation. While presenting a powerful defense to meet running plays, it's weak against the passing attack. The 7-1-2-1 or 7 diamond is one of the oldest defenses. Good against a running attack, it's vulnerable to passes. By moving the wingbacks toward the line, teams with their backs to the goal may play a 7-3-1. The 7-2-2 or 7 box is strong against running but weak against passing. Rushing the passes is the best practice here. The 5-3-2-1 defense has become increasingly popular. It has the advantage of a powerful backfield to cover pass receiving, but the disadvantage of using only 5 men to rush the passer. We have witnessed the groundwork of defense. Now watch the principles we have studied become a part of football action. Note how the defending team operates to force the play to the sideline. Here is the same play in slow motion. The individual work of ends, tackles, and guards now blends together. Each man continues to assume full responsibility for doing his own job thoroughly, but at the same time, he operates as part of the team. As we freeze action with the snap of the ball, note how the tackles make effective use of their hands. While the ends come across fast and deep, the backers up on the short side follow the play to guard against the ball carrier, reversing his field. The left defensive tackle and end, playing a floating game, force this lateral end run toward the sidelines. The left defensive halfback comes up fast to make the tackle out of bounds. Against the T formation, this 6-2-2-1 defense affords excellent protection through the middle and the flank. Coming up is a quarterback sneak, an attempt that works best when the defense is loosened up, expecting a more open play. Here, however, the sneak is squashed by a defense wary of a try through the line. In those moments before action begins, every man should be anticipating the coming play. Based on the down, the distance to go, the score, and the time still remaining. Note here that the defensive line is charging low. The 2 backers up have not been fooled by the deception of the 3 deep offensive backs. The center and fullback come in fast to hit the play. The defending team operated from the standard 6-2-2-1 formation, and this is the result. There are 3 types of pass defenses: zone defense, man-to-man defense, and a combination of the 2. Here, a zone defense is used. The best defense against the pass is to rush the passer. This requires a line that is powerful, fast, and alert. Here we have a maneuver that is quickly apparent as a pass play. As the line closes in on the passer, each man in the secondary moves quickly to his proper defense territory. In this freeze, the passer has his arm back for the throw, but the lineman already surrounding. He has little time and no properly placed receiver. Once the pigskin is in the air, every defensive man plays it, trying for an interception or a knockdown. This time, safety man Davis does the job. As Davis moved up, the defensive right halfback dropped to the rear to cover the safety position. A lineman taught to move laterally can often make use of that ability. Though this play is over the far side of the line, the right tackle brings down the ball carrier. Note how, on this off-tackle play, the defensive halfbacks are lined up about 8 yards to the rear and a yard or two to the outside of their ends. The safety man is about 15 yards back. With great power and speed, the right tackle drives through under the play to make the tackle. Meanwhile, the left guard was rushing across to meet the ball carrier. The secondary backers up and halfbacks had come up fast to converge on their man. With all this power directed against him, the ball carrier had little chance. A sure way to stop the offensive threat of an opposing team is to gain possession of the ball. A pass interception is an ideal way to get that possession. Here, the ball is passed, but into the hands of the enemy. Note how well all receivers were covered on this ill-fated play. Watch this play carefully and pick out the man in motion. As you'll see, the fact that a man is in motion does not affect the actions of the linesmen, who are well prepared for a plunge through their territory. This smash-through tackle is stopped almost before it begins. Here is the same play in slow motion. The left defensive halfback is personally responsible for the man in motion. The right guard, in an example of alert playing, slides over into the tackle slot. The defensive center, not fooled by any faking in the backfield, hits the play on the nose. The difference between good and bad punting often means the difference between victory and defeat. Of primary importance is the protection of the punter. Here, Doc Blanchard demonstrates the tremendous power that he gets into a punt. Anticipating the arrival of the ball, he rocks backward onto his left leg, then starts his kick. Note Blanchard's follow-through. The completeness of this motion adds many yards to the flight of the pigskin. Blanchard, with arms outstretched and hands held palms up, receives the pigskin waist high. He begins his steps, then drops the ball, directing its nose slightly down. Now, like a great swinging pendulum, his foot moves up to make contact. Punting like this can consistently force the enemy back into his own territory. Here, a protective screen is formed for the punter. Usually, a kick gotten off in less than 2 seconds will not be blocked. This is a deep punt formation used primarily for kicking. The kicker is 10 yards back, the ends are 3 to 5 yards wide, and the screen is arranged to give maximum protection to the point where the punter's foot actually hits the ball. Note on this repeat that the offensive men are in regular position, giving no indication of what the play might be. Note here also, as Blanchard's punt sails downfield, that in addition to the ends, the left tackle and left guard have broken through. 2 others heading downfield are the right tackle and the center. This team moves fast to pin back the enemy receiver. Runs as well as kicks may develop from the punt formation, as diagrammed here. A few running plays will also serve to keep pressure off the kicker. While Sauer goes through center, Blanchard, as punter and actor, carries out a complete fake. Watch the play again as we slow it down. The ball comes back to Sauer, number 2, who takes advantage of his quick opening and heads through center. As a rule, these plays are short ground gainers, but if used at the right time, they can pick up valuable yardage. Here, Sauer, aided by excellent line blocking to the center and guards, crashes into the clear. The deep punt formation is well suited for passing, for two reasons. One, the passer usually has plenty of time to look over his receivers, and two, his protection is excellent. Notice how Blanchard makes a good fake at kicking the pigskin before straightening up and beginning his throw. This affords his receivers ample time to get downfield. Note their spacing. No two of the potential receivers can be covered by one defensive man. Blanchard's pass goes to Davis in the flat, and from here on, it's the touchdown story. Here again is a fake kick and run, an excellent variation to keep the opposition guessing. Notice on the diagram how the protective screen should move out to make its blocks. Blanchard fakes his kick, and then, without breaking stride, continues into a running play around the defensive line, which was drawn in tightly. This time around, watch the interference. As Blanchard receives, special attention is directed toward getting the defensive end out of the play. Both ends, both tackles, and the left guard begin their journey downfield. Working ahead of Blanchard, they do an effective job of blocking. The interference never slows up. Each man, taking no chances, must assume that the ball carrier is directly behind him and that his block is vital to the play. Keep in mind these advantages of the punt formation. 1, good for passing. 2, good for quick buck plays because of the spread defensive line. 3, good deception. 4, good for lateral passing. And 5, good, of course, for punting. This play shows how, when correctly executed, an end run from punt formation can really pay off. As an introduction to the tee, here are some close scenes of the Army team on the attack from their favorite formation. Notice how the quarterback, without breaking stride, hands the ball to the halfback, who starts fast for the opening directly ahead. This lightning maneuver, one of the fastest hitting plays from the tee, requires careful study. Notice the one-on-one blocking, with a man ahead of the ball carrier to handle the close-up secondary. The faking of the fullback, quarterback, and right halfback makes this play very deceptive. With effective down interference, this maneuver can result in many long gains. Though in this case the center failed to get through for his usual job of downfield blocking, ball carrier Davis is on the loose. Now for a more detailed study of plays from the tee. The tee is far from a new formation. Its prominence in recent years began with its use in professional football by the Chicago Bears. Since then, the tee's popularity has increased with each new season. Here, Sauer hits inside the defensive left tackle to smash into the clear. It is from the tee, of course, that the Army team customarily unleashes its power. Each play in this series will be repeated several times from different angles for close study. This is Sauer again crashing through. Now, in slow motion, note the details of this maneuver. We freeze action as the play reaches its most important moment, with quarterback Tucker, number 1, releasing the ball to right halfback Sauer, number 2. In the same motion, Tucker fakes a pass to Davis, number 4. As Sauer emerges into the open, here is a dramatic scene of timely blocking. Note how the left tackle drives ahead to eliminate the safety man from the play. The speed with which this maneuver hits allows many of the linemen to go through to the secondary. Our next play, here diagrammed, is another which Army frequently features with skill and effectiveness. This is the famous end run with Davis carrying the ball. It has resulted in many a West Point touchdown. Note the fake by Tucker to Sauer, then the short pass to Davis, who hits wide. The tee combines deception, power, and above all, the chance to hit quickly at any spot in the defense. Once more, keep your eye on Davis as he takes the ball from Tucker. After Tucker laterals, he becomes the personal interferer for the ball carrier. An important reason for the recent popularity of the tee is the fact that the quarterback may now pass anywhere behind the line of scrimmage. Quarterback Tucker's assignment on this play is vital. in that he must make a good fake to the number 2 back, as shown in this freeze, while passing the ball to Davis without breaking stride. Davis demonstrates his sprinting ability as he heads for the enemy goal. Now, in slow motion, check your own position, following the actions of your counterparts from the beginning to the end of the play. Fullbacks can learn a valuable lesson from Blanchard, who effectively blocks the defensive left end. Because of the terrific speed of this play, linemen are released almost immediately for downfield interference. This is one of the team's most powerful thrusts, and it has added many points to Army's scores. As we move closer to the play, note the 4 offensive linemen who have gone into the secondary for their important blocking assignments. On this maneuver, the ball carrier generally finds the best opening very wide, with no opportunity for reversing his field. The T offers an infinite variety of plays. Many formations can be made by simply putting a man in motion, playing the line tight, or splitting any of the linemen. An effective weapon that should be used more often is the quick kick. It can come out of any running formation, such as the single wing, the double wing, or the T, as here. When used from the T, the ball is passed between the quarterback's legs directly to the fullback, who has taken a position slightly to the rear of his 2 halfbacks. The center of the line must make a positive charging block, similar to that of any line play. The success of a quick kick depends primarily upon the speed of the kicker. The quarterback sneak or goose play is an excellent maneuver in certain positions on the field. Many times in a long gainer situation where the defense is loosened up, it can be run successfully for good yardage. Here, Tucker makes it pay off with a touchdown. Surprise is a vital element in this play. Every effort must be made to catch the defense unawares. Now keep your eye on the quarterback. He suddenly steals the ball from the center, and without even a split second of delay, heads through the opposing wall. The key blocks are made by the 3 center men of the line, thereby releasing all other linemen for downfield interference. Even in slow motion, note how rapidly this play breaks, as the fullback and halfbacks complete the deception. Quarterback Tucker uses the center, Bullock, as his powerhouse interference. Both men backing up the defensive line are taken out of the play by perfect blocking. Tucker, now in the clear, finds smooth sailing ahead. Here is a worm's eye view of the quarterback sneak. From this low angle, the speed of this goose play is even more apparent. Watch Tucker as he pops through the center of the line. Now, center your attention on the linemen, and note how quickly they break through into the secondary. This maneuver moves so fast that usually a simple side body block downfield is sufficient to protect the ball carrier. Watch the center. He uses only one hand as he makes the short pass to the quarterback. This play requires perfect timing, but its features of speed, power, and deception are worth working for. Coming up is a pass play that contains not only a single but a double dose of football fakery. The pigskin travels to Tucker, who first fakes to Sauer, then laterals to Davis. Halfback Davis carries a few steps in imitation of an end run before sending out his pass. Keep your eye on the interference as we repeat the play. This maneuver begins exactly like an end run, with Davis following Blanchard. The delay caused by ball handling gives pass receivers time to get downfield. A question faced frequently by every ball carrier is whether to run or throw. The result of a game often depends upon such a decision, which must usually be made in a fraction of a second. On this freeze, note the well-balanced position of every man on the line. With head up and eyes straight ahead, no lineman gives the slightest indication of what the play might be. In slow motion, notice that Davis actually puts the ball under his arm, exactly as he does in an end run, then quickly shifts into passing position. This freeze shows the passer about to release the ball with his two best receivers ahead of him. The receivers don't turn to look for the pass until they know from constant practice that enough time has elapsed for the throw. Again, we move down to the heart of the tee for a close-up view of this formation. Blanchard blasts through. If you watch closely, you'll see how the quarterback fakes to imply that the play will go through the right side. The pigskin, however, is handed to fullback Blanchard, who smashes to the left or the short side of the line. The key block in this play is made by the left end on the right defensive tackle. Blanchard moves behind the interference of right guard Joy. Once again, notice how deception is employed here through the use of a man in motion. This quick opening play to the short side explodes with an abundance of power. Any play with Blanchard carrying is loaded with dynamite, and this is no exception. Watch how the left end takes out the defensive tackle. It's through this hole that the right guard moves to lead the ball carrier up the field. In this play, as in any other, perfect timing is the basis of success. Here is the same powerhouse play photographed from above. All the T formation plays we have seen can be run as this one, with a man in motion. On this maneuver, Davis, in motion, must be watched by the defense. The ball, first faked to Sauer, goes to Blanchard, who completes the touchdown story. This time, notice how Blanchard telegraphs the impression that he's going to the right, only to hammer through the left or the short side of the line. He moves behind excellent cross-blocking by the end and tackle, with the right guard coming around to act as interference. Now watch Sauer, number 2, who, as the ball is snapped, drives straight ahead into the line as if carrying the pigskin on a plunge. On the freeze, note the amount of realism that Davis, number 4, puts into his fake as he pretends to receive a lateral pass. These deceptions prove valuable to the hard-charging Blanchard. It is, of course, important that the man in motion be moving away from the line of scrimmage at the precise moment the ball is snapped. Otherwise, the play would be illegal. Notice that quarterback Tucker, pretending to retain the pigskin, plays his part in deception. Again, watch how Sauer, number 2, times his block on the defensive right half, thus allowing Blanchard to head into the open. As the Duck sprints for a touchdown, make careful note of the advantages of the T. 1, constant threat of a quick opening play at any point in the line. 2, excellent deception. 3, 100% blocking center. 4, good passing possibilities. 5, man in motion, forcing the defense to spread. 6, even distribution of line and backfield. Finally, remember that, in the T, power is not all important. Smartness and speed are adequate substitutes for brute strength. This, then, is football, Army brand. Hard-hitting as a pile driver's mallet, fast as quicksilver, and clean as the blade of a polished sword. It has blazed a record that will be remembered as long as crowds flock on Saturdays to American gridiron. Based on alertness, speed, and the art of playing together as a team, it's the kind of football that's a credit to the sport. Good football is a builder of character and health, stamina and sportsmanship. It pays off dividends in better men, as well as extra points on the scoreboard. Not all teams can be winners, but every team can improve its performance by following in the footsteps of West Point Championship football.